Hi, this is Flick, and you're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, we check out the Celestial Park world in Universal Epic Universe. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practiced, pixie dusted Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the parks every day, letting you know that new light poles were installed on the World Showcase Bridge in Epcot.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Universal. And while Rachel's out getting tropical, we'll be here holding down the Fort B in Celestial.
Oh,
beautiful. And you listeners have the easy part. All you got to do is listen up while we drink up what we think up.
my name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And as Danny said, Rachel is out today as she's off honing her travel agent product knowledge.
Oh, but don't feel bad for her, guys. She is having a great time.
Otherwise known as vacation.
Yes. She's smiling.
But she's experiencing it firsthand in person so that she can relate her experiences to you if you book through her.
Yes.
And look, the easiest way to support us as a whole is to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, as well as turn on that notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. So look, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go check out Celestial Park. Here we are in the hub, the main topic segment of our show. And for the next series of shows, we are exploring Universal Epic Universe. A new third gate opening, or I guess fourth gate, technically, by their standards. They do count Volcano
Bay, yeah.
Yeah. It's opening in 2025 at the Universal Orlando Resort. Now, I know we're a Disney podcast, but as I mentioned previously, competition is good for business. Mm-hmm. And I think we can all agree that regarding theme parks, I'm pretty sure Universal's pretty close to that, right? To Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know everybody else. It's definitely not Six Flags.
If anything, just holding Disney's feet to the flames and forcing a response by evaluating what Universal is coming out with. I think that's worthy of exploration.
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, just to remind the listeners, the last major theme park that opened in Central Florida area was Islands of Adventure back in May 28th, 1999, which of course is Universal. But before that, Disney, the last time they opened the gate was Animal Kingdom, April 22nd, 1998. So it's been a while since we had something of this majorness.
Yeah.
Magnitude, thank you. Happen in that area. So
Epicness, if you will.
Epicness, yes.
Very nice.
Speaking of epicness, look, go to show number 512, Epic Digs at Disney. We examine Universal's video that they released at the end of January, which revealed a good bit of information of what to expect when Universal Epic Universe opens next year. And if you haven't yet, please go check out that show after you have listened to this one. But I'd like to hear y'all's opinions on it. Show at magicourway.com. Now, look, I recognize there are numerous venues from which we can get, these people can get specific details and rumors about Universal Epic Universe. But for the Mohicans that don't keep track of Universal stuff but are curious, we thank you for allowing us to do the research for you and trusting us to give you accurate information, which we usually do. We do a lot of research, have a lot of sources to back up what we're about to say.
We try.
And with that being said, for my particular portion, special shout out to Alicia Stella of Theme Park Stop, the Twitter account by Reconstruct for all the aerial photos, and all the major players in Universal Fan Universe whose information served as sources for this show and subsequent shows for sure. So just to set the scene, let's talk about the park itself. A quick overview. Universal stated that Epic Universe has 5 areas, or worlds as they call it. These worlds are Celestial Park, How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk, Dark Universe, Super Nintendo World, and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. For this episode, we will explore the world of Celestial Park. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Celestial Park is the first area of Epic Universe to have a full description published on the Universal's website, right? So all the other ones, they have coming soon, details coming soon, but this is the first one that they've released. They have fly-through videos of it. So this is one of the first things that we're going to talk about, mainly because this is their hub. This is going to serve as the hub for the entire Epic Universe. Now, I say hub as Disney, that's what Disney fans refer to their little central thing, and that's what Disney Walt came up with, was the hub and spokes design. But this is not entirely like the wagon wheel. It's not a perfect circumference, right? Imagine a long, large strip. On one end is the Kronos portal, which I'll get into in a little bit. Molly mentioned this, and the theme parks, and this is where the regular park goers, people who aren't staying at the hotel, enter through.
Okay.
So that's like, you could think that main ticketing area, the main gate, which they call main portal, which they call the Kronos. And on the other end of the area is the Helios Grand Hotel, where the people that stay there have their own dedicated entrance. So it's a long strip of land, and this is kind of parentheses, one by the Kronos portal and the other by the Helios Grand Hotel. Mm-hmm. And this stretches all the way through, and from this long strip of land is where 4 other worlds branch out from. And the way they have it set up is that you can't cross from one world into the other, kind of like you could do at Magic Kingdom, right?
Right.
You can easily go from Fantasyland to Liberty Square to Frontierland, so on and so forth. This one, they have it designed in such a way that you have to go through Celestial Park to get to another world.
Right.
So if you wanted to go from Dark World to Harry Potter, you exit Dark World, go through Celestial Park, and head over to the portal to Harry Potter. To kind of visualize it for Disney fans, if you remember in Wreck-It Ralph, the Game Central Station.
Yes.
Game Central Station, all the games, when they, at the after hours, they came and hung out. And if they wanted to go with each other's, if they wanted to go to Tappers for a beer, they had to go to his video game. So they go to the Game Central Station through the little wire. They all went to the appropriate little, I don't know what they call it, ports, I guess plugs. Pubs, electric port, and they went off to each other's games to do whatever they wanted to do for that night. So that's what this Celestial Park area is. Long thing, it's parentheses, and from which all the worlds that we'll talk about in subsequent shows branch off of. So now that we kind of have our bearings of what this land is shaped like and what it looks like, I wanted to read this of what Universal has to say about this area.
This is going to be the most accurate information because Universal has pretty much confirmed everything that we're going to see here.
Mm-hmm, right? Absolutely, and it's great. I love the fact that what we see in the concept art is exactly what we see being built.
Exactly.
As it should be.
So Universal says this. They say Celestial Park is the cosmic heart of Universal Epic Universe, where wondrous discoveries await among the lush greenery, tree-lined walkways, and various water features like dancing fountains throughout. Begin your cosmic journey of discovery in a world between worlds, full of sensory delights for all to enjoy together. This is where they put the park back into theme park. So this is where you'll see a lot of the green places. But I feel like I need a little more detail. So if you listen to the last show, Dan and Eli were fans of Molly.
Oh, yeah.
So let's bring back Molly and the gang to tell us a little bit more about Celestial Park.
Yes, wow.
So here is Molly and the gang.
You'll enter underneath the Kronos, the first portal, where all the planets will align, and exhilarating discoveries await as you begin your journey into Celestial Park.
Celestial Park is a world in and of itself, where fans have come to seek the ultimate adventure.
It's where we put the park back into theme park.
It has beautiful landscaping, incredible water features, amazing dining experiences, fantastic shopping opportunities, and 3 spectacular attractions.
There you go. So
All
that's
right.
a further description of Celestial Park by the executives themselves. That was, of course, Mark Wordberry, who's the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences, Brian Robinson, chief creative officer for Universal Creative, and, of course, Molly Murphy, president of Universal Creative. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and discuss what they were talking about. Each and every world of Epic Universe will have guests entering through a physical portal of some sort, kind of like what I mentioned at the very beginning of this. Each of these portals will have an inscription with a phrase that embodies that world, and Celestial Park is no different. The portal for Celestial Park is called the Kronos, and it is a stylized dimensional portal line, like tying the park's multiverse theme together. The portals look like a large pipe, basically. So if you think of it physically, it looks like a large pipe, but above it, it has like things built upon it, like towers and like different designs related to that world.
Into a spire.
Yes, yeah. Spire. Thank you. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So on top of Kronos' tower it shows a bunch of planets aligned. It's saying that the planets came aligned and brought us this universe, and that's what you're about to enter through. Now, the inscription on their portal just says Epic Universe. But where you get the Celestial Park inscription is when you walk through that portal, and the first thing you enter is Luna Overlook, which is the walk-through garden area giving guests a sweeping view of Celestial Park. So if you think of the rest of Celestial Park as just a land that's a little bit lower than from when you enter, you get that grand opening escape. It's kind of like when you go, for Disney fans, when you come out of the Oasis into Animal Kingdom and you get on that bridge, getting into Discovery Island, and you see the Tree of Life, the magnitude, it kind of slopes down, and you see how big and vast the park actually is, because you really don't see anything when you're walking through the Oasis. So this is kind of the same thing. When you go through that portal, now I don't know if you can't see anything as you go through the portal, but I know definitely as you come out of the portal, you'll be presented with Luna Overlook, and you'll see the entire stretch of Celestial Park. So give you a little idea of what to expect at Luna Overlook. It'll have a statue of the moon goddess Luna, upon which will be an inscription that reads, "The goddess Luna," and I quote, "The goddess Luna draws the veil across the worlds as colors pale. Her glowing face reflects the light and pulls the stars into the night."
Catchy.
Now, just a quick aside, the word night is assumed by a lot of Universal fan universe because the concept artist drew a fan or guest standing right in front of the last part of the sentence. So nobody actually knows what she's pulling stars into. So a lot of people are assuming the night. So that's why I quoted as like, maybe it's the night. I don't know. I thought maybe it's the light. So we won't find out until actually physically it gets built and we get more pictures of what that is.
They should have asked the guests to move to the right. And then
They should have.
Where it was.
I thought it was funny that you look at the concept art and there's a guest standing right in front of the rest of the sentence.
Wow.
And that's the only thing you see. It's like, okay.
That's mysterious.
So this will have a tiered water feature, which will have jumping fountains. And you walk through this and you get through this area and you go through the rest of Celestial Park. Okay. And one thing you're going to notice as we go through Celestial Park is that there are numerous water features and stuff, fountains, big lakes, big cascading waterfalls all through the area. It's quite amazing.
So Celestial Park, it seems to me like a kind of a Garden of the Gods kind of thing.
It does, yeah.
I mean, Celestials, especially in the Marvel universe, are known as these powerful cosmic beings. Is the theming here kind of like an Olympus or a Valhalla, Asgard, whatever you want to?
I want to say it's that lush beauty. Right. So when you're walking through this, it's very serene. There's a lot of green. There's a lot of perfect gardens and a lot of activity for, active motion from the waters flowing through and the fountains jumping. So it's, it's like if you walk through and you hear da 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 da.
It sounds like
birds tweeting and all that kind of stuff.
So like a Garden of Eden or like an Olympus.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. It's like a moment of peace as you come into and out of the worlds. And that's what it feels like, because when you go into the various worlds, and we'll get into it in subsequent shows, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in those worlds. Dark Universe, How to Train Your Dragon. But then, if you want to take a break, you come out in the Celestial Park and you enjoy the serenity of Celestial Park. I mean, I guess other than the comet, but it's so long and stretched out that it's not as compact.
Like Eli's last girlfriend.
Yes.
Very much.
That's all I have to say about that.
Sorry.
All right, so let's start with the attractions, of course. And the big one that we're going to start with is called Starfall Racers. Universal invites you, and I quote, to feel what it's like to board a comet and race through the stars on Starfall Racers. Now, this attraction is built by Mack Rides, which is a German family-run business that has, as they say, and I quote, enduringly shaped the amusement industry like no other. Now, what's interesting about this and why I make mention of it is that they're still one of the few companies that make rides that build every single ride individually at their factory before they ship it out to whoever ordered the ride, the customer.
You're talking about Mack Rides?
Mack Rides, yeah.
Did you know that Daddy Mack Rides made you jump?
Yes. And that revolutionized amusement parks as well.
There you go.
Yeah, as opposed to ride back. There you go. I wonder, I don't know, how do they deliver something of that size? Like
I was wondering that too.
Pieces, like Lego pieces, or they just like...
Maybe it's like IKEA. It's like all in one little box, but there's like a ton of million pieces. Screws and bolts.
Thick that instruction booklet must be.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is amazing because there's like that gives you an idea of the quality control, right? That they have over their product. It's like before we ship it, we're going to make sure it works here, and then we'll ship it off to you somehow.
Are they known for anything else that we may have heard of in any park?
Actually. It's good that you ask about that question, Eli, because one of the things they built for Disney fans is Slinky Dog Dash.
Oh, okay.
That's one of their rides. And they did a bunch of different rides for the various SeaWorlds.
Okay.
Like the Journey to Atlantis ride is one of the ones that they did.
Oh, wow.
Non-coaster stuff, some of the things that they built. Islands of Adventure, Storm Force Acceleration.
No, that's Storm. That's from X-Men.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
And a bunch of stuff for Six Flags. So they got a ton of things.
Okay, so they're like established and not like a fly-by-night operation that just drops you roller coaster. You just take your chances there.
They're not an apparition.
Yeah.
Or an operation.
Operation. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not a ghost. They're not an apparition either.
You think they're celestial or what? You know?
I hope so.
Yeah, so that's Mack Ride. So that gives you an idea of the quality that you're going to expect on this particular attraction. And a lot of people are saying it's reminiscent of Dueling Dragons, which is why the fan universe refers to it as a dueling coaster. But if I could geek out for a second, I would consider this more of a racing coaster format rather than a dueling format. Dueling Dragons, I thought, if you remember that coaster back in the day, was really a dueling coaster. It had two separate launch things, and they came at each other. So it was kind of like a dogfight in a jet. Whereas racing coasters, and they have a lot of like wooden racing coasters in Six Flags, all those different kinds of places, they are side by side and they launch together at the same time, which is what this particular attraction will do. Now, they do kind of get into the same maneuvers as like a dogfight or kind of like a dueling thing. So I guess it's a version of a dueling thing, or at least in this particular case. But the idea is that they're racing each other through, in this particular case, they're racing each other through the cosmos, through various twists and turns. That's why I call it more of a racing coaster rather than a dueling coaster.
So it's like we're shooting stars?
Yes. You're shooting stars.
Racing one another.
You have your gravity pulling on each other and you're doing all kind of stuff. To make your point, Danny, it will have comet-themed trains. The entrance will even have extensive rock work, which will incorporate the coaster tracks and a large comet flying overhead.
Oh.
And I imagine this would be a great place for a photo. So if you're looking at the attraction itself, you'll see this big thing of Starfall racers. And they built the tracks in such a way that it zooms through and crisscrosses right underneath the big comet thing. So I imagine we'll get some awesome photos from that.
Yeah.
Especially since, a couple of fun facts, there will be no external track lighting on this attraction. So the only lighting that you'll get at night is from the trains themselves.
Okay.
So they will look like shooting stars and comets. So I got to imagine that when it zooms through in front of that big comet, they got to put light on that comet. They said there'd be no external track lighting, but I'm sure there's some lighting on that particular decoration.
That area, yeah.
And you just see these two coaster trains flying like that's got to look awesome.
Yeah. This is the answer to Space Mountain, I guess.
I was thinking Tron, but
yeah, maybe possibly, because aren't we technically supposed to be racing in Tron? Although we're not racing another rider, we're racing some guy in a video screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dueling Dragons, that's the best
analogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Universal's had a dueling coaster since they've shut down, right?
Yeah, no, that's the last time that they've had one. And I thought that was a great coaster.
It was.
It was a lot of fun. This one will get up to speeds of 62 miles per hour.
Wow.
So if you compare that to a test track, and it'll have heights of up to 133 feet and a total of about 5,000 feet of track. So this is no short puppy.
No.
You're going to get your money's worth on this particular ticket.
Any inversions or?
Yes, they have a special inverted crisscross, which they dub a
Make it jump. Daddy Mac!
Yes! Yes! Boom.
Thank you, Daddy Mac Rides Incorporated. Yes.
Daddy Mac.
No, this one's called a Celestial Spin, which I guess is kind of hip-hop-ish too.
Yeah.
In a cosmic way.
With a cosmic twist.
But it's an inverted crisscross a la Top Gun, right? So they dub it the Celestial Spin, so you're going to look for that feature.
Okay.
And so one other fun fact about this attraction is that there's supposed to be a Back to the Future Easter egg on this attraction.
Really?
Yes. Now, Andreza Duarte, senior manager of Universal Orlando's internal communications team, is quoted as saying this, and I quote, "Although I can't give this Easter egg away just yet, just know that there's a gift for true Universal fans on the back of each coaster vehicle, truly out of time."
Ah.
So
Clever.
Yeah, I think we can deduce what's going to be in the back of the coaster trains.
Huh.
I wonder if that'll be lit up. Well, it'd be
should
better.
be.
I wonder if the track should light up and fire up as it's passing by.
Well, according to this concept art, we should be seeing pixie dust coming off of the cars as we go.
Flames.
Or I don't know, what would you call that in space? What would that be? Space dust?
Space dust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stardust.
Stardust. There you go. That's a better way to put it.
I like stardust. Pieces of ice that break off and they vaporize due to the sun's heat.
Definitely not gold dust.
No.
Hopefully not.
No.
So that's Starfall Racers. That's the big roller coaster that's coming to Celestial Park.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
interesting.
curious about that one. Yeah.
So now for the little ones, we have Constellation Carousel.
Again, keeping with so it's more outer spacey than, say, Garden of the Gods kind of concept like I was kind of envisioning.
Well, to your point, Danny, I feel like when you're on the ground you're in control of your own motion. You're on the earth. You're on terra firma with the lush greens and the waters and stuff. But when you're in these attractions, then you get transported into space. You get experience the celestial. So it's almost like where the heavens and the earth meet.
Oh, like a land between space and time.
Yes. Actually, I'd say that, and that's kind of the premise of the Helios Hotel, Grand Hotel, which we'll talk about a little later. It's where the heavens and the earth meet.
Nice.
So to speak.
So we're like constellations.
Yeah, so this is exactly a new spin on a carousel attraction that enables guests to ride the constellations themselves. And the guest carriages will include celestial lions, dragons, peacocks, and more. So, of course, you see those things in the stars, but this is the actual embodiment of them.
Nice.
The cool thing about this is that each carriage turns 360 degrees while lifting the riders up 6 feet in the air.
6 feet?
6 feet in the air.
Whoa.
A little different than your standard carousel for sure.
That puts a little bit of a bite into a carousel. I like that.
It does.
Good for them.
Yep. And I quote, celestial music and color dazzle your senses as you whirl and twirl together across the Milky Way.
Nice.
Is what their quote is saying. Now, of course, I'm into ride systems, so I had to check this one out because it's a very interesting ride system than your normal carousel. Because unlike traditional carousels that are suspended from the top, this one uses a turntable system, lifting riders up from the bottom. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, this allows all the open space that used to have all the mechanics for lifting traditional carousels wide open for theming. And this is exactly what they did. The ceiling of Constellation Carousel will feature an enchanting star tracker showcasing rotating celestial star patterns. And then at the center of all this is what they call the mesmerizer, which will create a captivating ribbon cone effect overhead. Like as you're spinning, it kind of spins and does some kind of, it almost looks like a tree trunk with branches and roots growing up into the heavens.
So not like a projected effect, like a planetarium, more like a practical effect?
It's a practical effect, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have all that room to build it and they don't have to project anything because there's nothing in the way and they could just build whatever. And if you're looking at the aerial photographs, the buildings are set to support this kind of a feature.
Yeah, I was looking at the photograph of it, and you can see where they have like the phases of the moon in the I guess it's glasswork that they have up there.
It looks like glasswork. If it is, that's be just as awesome.
Yeah,
because good glasswork just looks amazing.
Yeah, and up at the top, like they have a Pegasus or at the top of the building. But I mean, this just you've never like most people just have given up on the whole idea of a carousel. Like carousels, it's boring, but they actually plussed a carousel, and this sounds interesting. Really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, and the theming of it and the structure of the buildings looks really, really cool to me. It's just something I would want to see just because it looks really neat.
I agree.
Now, just to give you further information, aerial photography by BioReconstruct show that the turntable has been installed for this attraction. Because of this, we can see that there are 3 small circles within that much bigger circle of the main turntable. So within the big main turntable, you have 3 individual turntables spinning independently of each other within the context of the big turntable. So you have a lot of spinning going on. But whereas you have a lot of spinning and motion going on, you'll also, something to take note of for those that don't like that, you'll have some vehicles outside of those little miniature spinning circles that don't move as often.
I was going to ask if it's kind of like say that you go to Triceratops spin, Dumbo, where you can control if you go up, down, spin around, whatever you do.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I wonder how much we have in charge of how much it spins and stuff.
Right.
And goes up and, we can control the up and down like on a regular carousel, but that's interesting to know. I wonder, because they could do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because, you're going to be this seems like a family-friendly attraction. If you've got a kid and they don't like going around really, really fast, I'm wondering if they do this in a way where you get to control the rate of how up and down you go, how much you spin, all that kind of stuff.
That would do a really awesome addition element to that particular attraction.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's Constellation Carousel, man. Really, really neat take on the typical carousel attraction. And so those are for the little ones, and even for the more littler ones, or anyone really, we have Astronomica, which serves as a wet play area designed to be a compass rose for each of the worlds that you can enter. So here, the guests can enjoy, and I quote, splashing around in playful fountains that dance and swirl around them, which of course will feel pretty cool in Florida summers. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It's like a giant splash pad.
It's just a giant splash pad shaped like a compass rose. That's all it is. And now, granted, it wasn't listed on the official website, but construction photos match exactly what's shown in the concept art. There's no doubt what this is going to be. And at night, they say Astronomica will provide a different experience as it will come alive with light, color, and music.
It's like a fountain show or something?
I guess so. But for your own little personal, it's not like for the masses, but like for anybody that wants to get wet and splash around, there's like a whole new element at night.
Get your little dance on while you out
Yeah, like a dance party on the splash pad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be choreographed fountains or something like a little show, but okay.
I mean, I guess they could. It could be part of the bigger show, but yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to see how that works. Maybe it's like Pandora, where it's just a different element that comes on at night. As opposed to during the day. Who knows?
Makes sense.
But it's kind of cool. I like that they put that in there for the little ones.
Yeah, I do too.
So Astronomica is close to the Helios Grand Hotel. So within the same area by the Helios and Astronomica, there'll be another water feature dubbed the Oculus, which is a large dancing water fountain show. And so if you look at the photos, this is the big circle area right in front of the hotel that will have a water show of sorts. And there's photos that show that the pumps have been installed in this water feature. And according to Universal, these fountains will be able to shoot water up 135 feet in the air.
Wow.
So there is no doubt that this will be part of some kind of show, whatever they're doing.
So like maybe a style of like a Bellagio for like one of those fancy dancy hotels or something.
And in fact, all throughout this thing, I haven't mentioned it yet, but yeah, the fountains are all Bellagio-like.
Oh, wow.
They'll have some motion. They'll have the power to shoot straight up there, kind of like World of Color-ish.
Yeah.
In that kind of respect. I don't know if they're going to use water screens to that dynamic, but they'll definitely have dancing water and fountains shooting up in the air like Bellagio for sure.
It's such a weird blending, isn't it? Like it's space and gods and water and parks and greenery and trees. It's such a...
It's an epic universe.
Yeah. It's such an odd blending of themes. But when you look at it, it just looks gorgeous.
It looks amazing.
And original, just completely original. You know, you see Disney trying to get away from this idea of a Tomorrowland, like of a world. And this is them kind of taking the Tomorrowland concept and doing, this is what a modern day Tomorrowland should look like. I love it.
No, it's great. And to go along with that, there's going to be a third water feature in Celestial Park, and it is called Neptune Pool, which to your point will have Bellagio-like water features, and it is a really, really big pool. So when you look at that, it's
much water.
Yeah, there's a lot of water and stuff. There's a lot of activity too with the shooting water and flowing water and all kind of stuff.
Boy, the water utility people over there must be jumping for joy that this park is opening up.
But say you can't build this out west.
No.
Holy moly. With the water shortages and stuff and whatever.
Dang.
But yeah, the Neptune Pool will lead you to the full service restaurant Atlantic. And so this will lead our discussion from the attractions. So that's all the attractions that they're going to have in Celestial Park into Celestial Park dining, because there's going to be some places to eat.
Oh, now you're talking about language, Kevin.
Yes. So let's start with full service dining. And as I mentioned, Neptune Pool leads guests to the first full service dining location we will discuss, the Atlantic. And Universal touts the Atlantic as an undersea culinary fantasy. To me, this sounds kind of reminiscent of Coral Reef Restaurant, but probably better. A lot better, because they incorporate more of a Victorian aquarium design.
Yeah. When you look at the concept art, it's like eating in an aquarium.
Yeah.
But no real fish. Like they have fish circling the top of the restaurant, like you're in the aquarium, but they're all golden sculptures. Yeah, it's incredibly ornate.
A lot of glass.
Gorgeous.
Yes, it's amazing. I mean, you're going to have booths that look like shells on the seafloor. Like you said, Danny, there'll be a metallic fish to complete the look of the aquarium look above you and all around you.
Bubbles
and whatnot. Yeah, it'll have seafood and steak dishes. So you get your surf and turf, Eli. Right,
gotta have that.
Yep, you kind of expect that, right?
That's why there's no fish in the aquarium part.
Exactly,
right there.
They had to use fake fish, so they could use the fish for your meal.
That's it.
No hydroponics over there.
Exactly.
Where they farm their own fish. No, gotta conserve fish.
That's not how we do it over here. That's epic.
That is epic.
Yes.
Visceral.
Very visceral.
Yes. There's 2 full service restaurants, and Universal has confirmed that both will have a bar. The Atlantic will have a bar called the Aquaria Bar, which you can get your cocktails and drinks and whatnot. Or if you just want cocktails and drinks, that's where you go. The Aquaria Ball.
Oh, first and foremost, just the idea that there are bars that you can visit. Right now, we're already looking at something different than what Universal's ever done before.
That's bar number 1.
Right.
Yeah, Disney,
Yes.
You're there, you're in there. I'm already looking forward to going underwater.
Because that is something that I've noticed just in the lands that we've done, and we'll get to that at a future point. Every one of them has a bar built in.
Oh, yeah.
And that is just not something that you've seen up until this point.
Talk about like a crawl, the Epic Universe crawl.
Oh, yeah.
No rides, just drinking.
Oh, I
and
can't
eating.
wait.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
But you can stay hydrated. There's water all along the whole path.
Absolutely. You have a place to pee.
Yeah. They thought of everything.
Yeah, I know.
It'll shoot you up 100 feet in the air, but hey,
You be sober then. Go see some stars after you had some stars on you.
I'm almost in space.
Yeah.
It's so glorious.
You want to see some helicopters? Now you're spinning.
All right, so now we have the next full-service restaurant, which is the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian Restaurant, which will feature cuisine which will take you across Asia.
All right.
Yes, so now just to clarify what Pan-Asian is versus Asian fusion.
okay.
So Asian fusion literally is fusion. When you're doing fusion, you're combining things into one particular dish.
Right.
Right, so you may have like Cajun egg rolls. That's a fusion kind of a thing.
Right.
Pan-Asian is basically different foods from different countries
In the same restaurant.
in the same restaurant, or maybe even on the same plate, but not combined.
Okay.
Just juxtaposed to each other to where they complement each other really well. So say, for instance, and not that this would work, but say you have a bowl of gumbo next to some yakame and like a pie of sorts. So those are not, there's 3 different cultures of foods, but let's just pretend they work together, you know,
Yeah, okay.
when they're on the same plate and you're eating it at the same time.
It's a big plate, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So it would be a big plate.
Okay.
But yeah, so Pan-Asian is just the foods are juxtaposed and they're supposed to complement each other in and of themselves.
Huh.
You could have like Kung Pao right next to some kind of Thai noodle dish or something that works really
yeah.
well.
Chop suey
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So this could be interesting because I love Asian food and
Me
whatnot,
too.
and so I'm curious to see what they'll have. It's supposed to have dishes for China, Japan, and Thailand.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping for some sushi.
All good. All good.
I like Chinese food. I don't know.
And I'm hoping some really nice sake.
Oh, yeah.
You know they're
Ooh.
going to have that.
Sake, soju, all that
Oh,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
See, I love Thai food too because they have it's very interesting.
Okay.
The way they do their flavors.
Yes.
Because it combines salty, sweet, sour, and there's one other I can't remember. Salty, sweet, sour. I don't remember.
Spicy?
Yeah, spicy maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe some spicy. Yeah. So there's always 4 in every dish that they do.
Well, they all started with that, so that's what we went with that.
Yeah. No, that works. That works.
No, you helped out. You got the first 3 the least I could do.
Thank you.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Anyway, this delectable menu that they'll have is said to be as vibrant as the neon dragons that snake from the outside to the inside of the restaurant. So if you look at the concept art, they have these really ornate dragons, Asian style dragons that apparently they're neon. And if that's the case, they're going to look freaking awesome. And it can, that theming goes from the outside into the inside throughout the restaurant. So
And they have a bar there that you can just visit, stop by, grab a cocktail. You don't even have to eat there.
they do. And this place is called the Tiger Bar.
Oh,
Which is said to be, now this is a different description than the other one. It's said to be a quiet, cozy place away from the hustle bustle of the park. So I got to think this bar is inside more so than close to where the hustle bustle of Celestial Park is. Some place where you can hang, kind of like the dungeon.
Yeah, you just break out. That's a great name.
break
though.
out. They say it's cozy, so I'm envisioning like sofas and nice chairs and like lift tables.
Yeah.
Nothing like nothing like the tiki bar kind of atmosphere. Now this will be kind of like you know what? It reminds me of a more stylized the California that bar that we went to in Disneyland in the resort, the Grand Californian. They had that bar. I forget the name of it. Dang it. But that was a cozy
the
place.
one downstairs?
Yeah, the one downstairs,
Yeah.
the big one downstairs. Yeah, where we hung out for a bit. But anyway, somebody's screaming. I'm sure JP's screaming in his iPod.
Yeah. But that's a great Tiger. That's a great name. It kind of
Tiger
gives
Bar.
this big game hunter kind of feel to it. I like that.
Like Tiger Mom.
So not the one that was outside, the one that was inside.
This is the one that's inside.
Okay,
yes.
because I said downstairs and I realized there was at least 2 downstairs.
Yeah.
So I just
yeah.
wanted to clarify. Okay.
Yeah, the one inside for sure at
right.
Grand California. Yeah. So that's the Blue Dragon Pan Asian restaurant, and that's the 2 full service places you can expect in Celestial Park, which is very exciting to me. Very, very excited. To
Yeah,
try those
no,
places.
that sounds great. This is going to be the first restaurant. I'd like to have a drink at Atlantic, but I want to have a meal here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hell, let's just eat both. There's only 2.
Yeah.
It won't be a problem, Kev.
No. Have you seen us eat?
Oh man, yes, we can eat. So that's it for full service. And so let's transition over to the counter service.
Okay.
They have a couple of counter service places. The first one is called the Pizza Moon, which, as you can guess, serves a variety of pizzas.
Ah,
Pizza
okay.
Moon. Now, not much has been released yet about this location, but once again, the aerial photos match the concept art, so we know it's going to be there. There's no doubt. What you're seeing is being built is exactly matching what's in the concept art, which, to Eli's point, it's incredible.
If you slow down the video that they do when they're flying over, you can see the front of the restaurant, and you can see what's the old, I can't remember the name of the movie with the moon with the rocket ship hits it in the eye.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things that that it's supposed to contain a reference to that particular movie. It references their 1902 silent French film, Trip to the Moon, in which a rocket smashes into the moon's face.
Yes.
Now, why is this significant? For Disney fans, you may remember this. If you remember Horizons, that was also in there in reference. They had the moon with a rocket face, and he was kind of like, okay.
You still see Eric Idle made up as that moon in, yeah.
Journey into Imagination. Yeah, that's the other reference to that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to see with that.
But at this restaurant, that moon will be being hit in the eye by a piece of pizza, a slice of pizza. Yes, I should say.
Yes, stylized, which is awesome.
It's crazy. Yes,
that's a more.
And I think the pizza looks happy, if I remember the concept of it.
Because at first, like when you look at it, it's right next door to the Mario gift shop that we'll be getting to in a minute. So I'm like, pizza, Mario. You know what they're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. They went a completely different other way with it. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And also, that's probably a reference to That's Amore.
That's what I was
Dean
thinking.
Martin. When the moon hit your eye like a big pizza pie. There you go.
That's exactly right.
That's what I was thinking.
A lot of good reference. So I hope the pizza's good.
I hope
the
so
pizza
too.
better be damn good.
If Mario was serving this pizza, I'd be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I'd ask him to wash his hands first.
Yeah.
I'll wash his gloves.
It's
I don't
pizza.
like pizza made by a plumber.
Even if it's John Leguizamo?
No, even if, yes. Especially if it's
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put like a hand that over your mustache, please, Mario.
Oh my gosh. All right, so the next counter service place you'll encounter is the Oak and Star Tavern.
Ooh, my wife is gonna love this
That
place.
sounds sturdy.
Yeah, well, you might like it, Eli. Although hardly anything has been revealed, Universal's fan universe is expecting this place to be a barbecue joint, and I assume they will serve beers and ales since it's a
Sold.
tavern.
So
Barbecue and drinks.
is that barbecue fusion as well?
No, I don't know. That's a good question. It could be technically if it's
Or they
like
fuse two type of meats together in the same sausage or something.
yeah, you could do that. Or if you got Kansas City next to Texas, next to Carolina, next to St. Louis,
Yeah,
Liking
Memphis.
it.
Memphis,
Ooh-wee.
the dry rub.
You could juxtapose all that together as far as I'm concerned. I'm sold.
Damn, that sounds good, huh?
That's it.
I can get all the good barbecue in one place.
That's
You know,
epic.
gotta have
Okay.
to travel.
Now we talking.
That's the Oak and Star Tavern, so I'm looking forward to hearing what that menu will have.
Wow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And well, also, just real quick, by the way, Kev, I mean, the whole idea, the Oak and Star Tavern. What does tavern tell you? Drinks.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
beer.
yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean,
drinks.
they're again another option. They're taking adulting seriously. I love this about them. They're fixing a major problem that the other two parks have.
And well, too.
Yes.
Because we're not done there. There's more drinks to be had for sure throughout this entire line that I haven't gotten to. The next one is going to be called the Meteor Astro Pub.
Okay. The demon here better be out of this world.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been named or referenced much, but aerial photography of the construction once again matches the rumor mill, matches the concept art.
Okay.
And it is rumored to be a burger and beer joint.
Wee.
And this is on the other side, close to the hotel. It'll overlook the Oculus.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, this is a play on the word gastropub, which, is a new restaurant term. You get your gastric fill of foods that just line the gastric whatever.
Oh gosh. Okay.
That's why it's burgers and beer, because it's thick.
Build it up.
It's visceral.
Oh, you go. You're going to be full when you leave out of this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
no doubt. That's exactly what it is.
So Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Italian, seafood, burgers,
Barbecue,
barbecue.
all of it.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten to the land yet.
No, we haven't even gotten to the lands yet. You could
Wow.
just hang out in Celestial Park and probably enjoy yourself from day to night. But in addition to all those, the aerial photos suggest that there's an additional dining location made up of 2 connected quick service restaurants that are being built. Again, this matches the final concept art, even though it wasn't in the model. The final concept art has these things, and you can see the exact pad, the shape of it being built from the aerial photography by Reach Construct. These 2 quick service restaurants are rumored to be named Pavo's Italian and Luna Estrella. Luna Estrella.
Is that Spanish?
Yes, it is, yes.
Yeah.
But it's said to be, Luna Estrella has a subtitle called Mexican Fresh in the concept art. So,
Man, they've hit everything.
yeah. So now you got Italian and now you got some Mexican here in the same place.
Wow.
Counter service too. That's the thing. You know, you can get these to go, or you can get a thing from here, thing from there. Go get your drink somewhere else.
I'm trying to think what they're missing, and I'm thinking French, but we're going to get to that. Oh, Greek.
What's
yeah,
that?
in the Garden of the Gods, you would think
You would have
Greek.
some good Greek food.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Man, I was like that with Disney. I was like, what's wrong with Greek food? I love Greek food.
Yeah, me too.
Jeez, I
Absolutely.
love
Greek
Greek
Fest
food.
over here is wonderful.
I can't wait. That's one of my favorite festivals.
Yeah.
ever. But have you been keeping track and counting numbers about the bars? There's plenty of them so far, right?
Oh, yes.
Good enough.
Love it.
How about I give you 2 standalone bars in Celestial Park?
Dang.
I'll take them.
And we'll place them over by the Helios Grand Hotel Dark Universe area. right in
Okay.
that area.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes. So when you enter exit Dark Universe or exit Hotel, you can encounter one of these 2 bars. Close to the entrance of Dark Universe, the portal itself, you'll encounter an outdoor bar rumored to be named Celestiki, which was a name trademarked by Universal in 2023.
Celestial Tiki Birds?
Dude, how awesome would that be, right? I'm glad you caught that because I'm like, this has got to be Celestial Tiki Birds. It's like a tiki bar.
I was like, wow, okay.
But it is a standalone. You can see it in the aerial photographs, but it's a little round standalone bar by itself. So you could just pull up, grab a drink, not have to worry about food, or you can hang out around the fountain because it's right by the Oculus.
That's great.
While you're waiting for whatever night show they're going to do, you could just have some drinks and just sit there and chill.
Okay, so the only thing, I know it's too early to tell because it's all being built, but as long as that place is open as late as the park, and not one of those weird things like, oh, we're gonna close 2 hours before or something like that. Boom, you sold. I mean, there's no way.
Oh, I'm a
That's a
100%
lot.
with you. Yeah, this needs to be their Epcot. This needs to be a
sure.
park that's open really late. This
Yes.
sounds great. It's so amazing to see so many concepts into this one area. I mean, it's like their World Showcase.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
this is amazing that we have this many options. I really,
Well, Danny, I'm not done yet. There's another bar right across the way
come
from
on.
Celestiki.
Wait, there's more.
There is another standalone bar right
But
across.
don't book now.
That's right. $19.99. But right across from the fountain, like say you come in from the other portals and
Okay.
stuff, you want a bar too. So they put a standalone bar on that side, which is rumored to be called Bar Zenith.
Bar Zenith.
Bar Zenith.
Zenith,
Utmost
like
of
yeah,
the
highest.
I know, right?
highest that you
top.
can achieve.
Wow.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that. The other thing I think that's kind of, I know you're still going.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But that helps with, what do you guys call it? That term you crowd gobbling, right? Because
Oh,
now
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't have to worry about everybody just surging one place.
Yeah.
You got it dispersed. So now you don't have to worry about people walking into other people, spilling drinks on it. Like, you got options.
That's the problem at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Everyone congregates in a bar, and there's not enough tables nowhere near close.
Exactly, yeah.
where you
Right.
can't just sit there, take in the atmosphere, people watch. You can't do that. And they figured this out.
They learn from their, mistakes, so to speak.
That's smart.
Hopeful
Which is
that
great.
they go through and they start fine-tuning some of the stuff in Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure to have more of this.
Especially if it's successful, I guarantee you they will.
Oh, I
mean,
hope
they can't.
so.
I mean, it's like, hey, this is easy to do. I mean, I think with the Mardi Gras celebrations they're having now in Universal, they have like little booths set up all throughout the old park that are pretty successful. And I was like, you could do that year round.
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
Man, it's a park. You set the rules.
Yeah, this is your park. You
Yeah.
do it. And if the moneymaker, go for it.
Man, that's genius.
Yeah, so all kind of drinking to be had in Celestial Park.
Okay.
Ooh-wee, I bet they're going to make it so whatever you pay probably ties to your room or something. Man,
Easy peasy.
people ain't going to make it out of these places.
You'll be stumbling.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why you got to book at the Helios Grand Hotel so you can just stumble back to your
Something
room.
right back to
Yeah,
you. That's
one
what I'm
of
saying.
500
That's,
rooms, yeah.
Man, okay,
Yeah.
these guys know what they're doing.
I know. It sounds exciting.
I'm scared for Disney.
All right, so that's it for the eateries. So let's do a little shopping. Gotta have a little shopping, of course.
Gotta do some shopping.
Gotta do some shopping.
For your shopping pleasure, we have the Nintendo Superstar Store.
Okay.
So that's a star that you hit that makes you invincible for a little bit.
Kick-ass.
Yes.
All right.
Here, guests will find toys, apparel, and other colorful keepsakes and souvenirs based on characters from Super Nintendo World and more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't get this one. Why?
Yeah, I was about to say, you may be thinking, wait a minute, shouldn't this be the inside of Super Nintendo World?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Why?
Well, they explain this through their rough backstory of Celestial Park.
Oh.
In that Celestial Park is a, and I quote, celestial world between worlds, and the Nintendo Superstar Store was, and I quote, founded by explorers that had been on multiple excursions to Super Nintendo World. So I gotta guess those explorers jacked stuff from the Super Nintendo World and brought it back to sell to the masses, much to the disgruntlement of Indiana Jones, who would say they belong in a museum.
Yeah.
I'd be selling it should belong in a museum.
I like that. I like that they at least have a little fun story with it, but I would guess that they figure all their baking is in Super Nintendo World, and if you forget to get something or your kid flips out, you have this place already to go to without having to walk all the way back.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly what I think.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense.
But that's still banking on something that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, that would make...
Well, this is being built for sure. So,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that the ceiling will still have celestial things too.
Okay.
Wow.
Oddly enough, yeah. So that theming will still be in there.
I'm digging this theme, and I'm really quite not sure how all of this fits in this place, and all of a sudden you drop Mario right in the middle.
It's like falling down the pipe, right? It's like falling down the pipe. There you go.
It does seem like a hodgepodge, but it looks all plausible up until you got to the Mario thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But
I think Mario just wanted to make money, right?
They at least tried to explain it. So
Mario's trying to bring his world to the masses outside of his Super Nintendo world, and you know what? Profit's just a byproduct he's just learned to live with.
I mean, you got to diversify. He's a plumber. He's got to switch it up a little bit.
So no one thought that anyone would want, I don't know, Harry Potter merchandise on the way out of the park, or
Metroid.
Yeah, or How to Train Your Dragon.
Any of that stuff.
Monsters, nothing. No, just Mario.
Just Mario. So far, that's the only thing we've heard.
Okay.
Now, whether or not there's, apparently there is a phase 2, but there's very small details in that, so who knows?
A phase 2 of Celestial Park?
Yeah.
Oh, get
or
out
I
of
think
here.
Epic Universe in general.
Okay. Now that I understand.
Yeah. But there's definitely some stuff involved with Celestial Park. As I was doing this research.
They have expansion pads for Celestial Park?
Yeah. Wow. Oddly enough, yeah, they got some room.
Okay.
They got some room.
More bars?
More bars.
Never can have enough bars.
What happened?
Well, the next place you could shop is a sweet shop called Moonship Chocolates and Celestial Sweets, which will be located toward the front of the park. Get your sugar on.
Okay.
Yep. And the fan universe is expecting the store to provide an array of delightful chocolates and confections to satisfy any sweet tooth.
I hope they got floats.
They might.
I hope
that
they
would
have
be the
floats.
kind of place that would have a float.
Yeah, I would
think.
imagine.
It might.
Yeah, it might. A celestial float.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Maybe have like some like edible glitter.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe some sort of crazy sprinkles or whatever the glass would be. Maybe having some nice stars in it. You know. I'll take a plastic cup. I'm good with it. Just have me the good ice cream and the root beer and the Coke.
They got to.
That's
So they
it.
don't have any like park-specific merchandise?
They haven't said. That hasn't been mentioned. I gotta imagine they should.
I know.
That'd be a shame if they didn't. But there hasn't been anything that's mentioned so far as those type more shops. Those are the only 2 shops they've said.
So a sweet store and Super Mario store.
That's it so
That's
far.
not.
So far.
I was going to say there better be something else.
They have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they got it scattered all over the park in carts.
Because I mean, I like the idea. Yeah, on the way out, you need to grab some of your Super Mario merchandise. I get it. Maybe you don't want to mess up your park with a thing, but I mean, come on. At some point in time, they're going to have a gift shop on the way out to get Harry Potter stuff.
They got to.
Monster stuff. Yeah,
They got
you
to.
can't.
Maybe that's phase 2. Who knows? When they figure
Especially
out,
when you can't double back into land. You have to go through the specific
I know.
portal. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right, so once you get through all of this, you'll encounter the large Helios Grand Hotel rising up and towering over Celestial Park and Epic Universe.
Wow.
And I see this hotel as having 2 aspects. One external as it relates to Celestial Park and the Epic Universe, and one internal, which would be the hotel as a hotel itself. All the rooms that you stay in, the theming of the rooms, the theming inside, the dining locations and stuff. The internal aspect we'll discuss once Rachel's back, and hopefully by then they will release more details, because they haven't really released any details about what to expect inside it. But we do know we can expect to have at least 500 rooms. Now, there's looks like it's going to be a rooftop bar.
Mm-hmm. And whose Is it for just hotel guests? Is it for club level guests? Is it for the entire?
Well, that's the thing. One of the things that they quote, and it says it's supposed to be a hotel which everybody can enjoy, is what they're quoted as saying.
Oh, God bless them.
Yeah, so it's not just hotel. I mean, of course, the hotel guests will enjoy it. They could enjoy the rooms and stuff, and sleep in that ambiance. But the regular guests, the plebeians, if you will,
yes,
will get to partake in this part of the park as well.
Well, if that's true, that is really cool because, I mean, if this was Disney, that would be a DVC lounge up there.
No, absolutely. And there's supposed to be a storyline woven into this hotel. That it's part of it. So apparently the entrance to the hotel itself is a portal as well into their little world of an alternate dimension is what they say, which is really interesting.
So the hotel itself is an alternate dimension.
That's what they say, yeah. It's some kind of alternate dimension. That storyline is what they'll have throughout the entire hotel. I don't know what it is. No idea.
Well, Helios is the sun god.
Exactly, yeah.
And again, we're talking about a park of, again, it's so weird. I mean, it's a park of gods, but we really haven't heard anything God related. It's all space. But they're God, like you can
Celestial
see
beings, yeah.
Yeah, you can see Helios. It's definitely the sun god. The constellation. They're gods in the constellations.
You ride the constellations.
There's Bacchus. There's all the bars right there. So
yeah.
No, but like when you walk in, there's this like I don't know who it is. Kronos, isn't Kronos?
Yeah, Kronos is time.
Yeah. So there, so they're all this reference to gods. So it's I don't know, man. This is so crazy.
It is wild, right?
Yeah.
Like. And you look at the concept art and it's like, I can't wait to go there. But you're like, is this all going to make sense when I get there? And for whatever reason, I just feel reassured because everything looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. And the cool thing about that hotel, it's supposed to I mentioned that storyline. It's woven throughout the hotel, but it doesn't require the guests to actively engage like Galactic Star Cruiser for them to have the best experience in that hotel.
Well, yeah, that's a problem is the idea of expecting people to role play. Look, I love Star Wars, but I wasn't about like if we would all got into it and just kind of wanted to go over there like a fantasy baseball camp kind of thing. We'll do a fantasy role play over it. I would have gone for that just with you guys, but yeah, that's not something I need to do multiple times.
Yeah.
I go on vacation. I tend to want to be passive, not active.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So for this show, we'll concentrate on the external aspects of the hotel as it relates to Celestial Park. So one thing to note, the guests of this hotel will have their own dedicated entrance to Epic Universe. So this is kind of like Disney's Grand Californian for California Adventure and the Disneyland Hotel in Paris. And there is rock work leading from the hotel to create a cascading waterfall effect, showing water flowing from the Helios Grand into the water areas throughout Celestial Park. So that water theming continues all the way through the hotel throughout the entire Celestial Park strip of land. So I got to think that's going to look freaking awesome, especially at night, you know? So now the thing to note that this is a Lowe's hotel. And at some point shortly after Universal released their video of Epic Universe, Lowe's posted the webpage on their website for the Helios Grand Hotel, which was a mistake. And once they realized this, they quickly took it down as it was not supposed to be released yet.
Bad Lowe's.
Yeah, I know. It was up for a little bit, but thankfully the fan universe is just as crazy as the Disney fan universe. They were able to capture screenshots of the webpage, which allows me to read their statement, Lowe's statement about this hotel. And so Lowe's says, and I quote, "Set as the backdrop for the adjacent theme park, the client sought to create a Disney castle, quote unquote, which was inhabitable."
Are they just admitting that Universal wanted to create a Disney castle?
I think they did. I think they did.
Okay, it's one thing that you accidentally release something too early. It's another thing that you put that into it. That's a little bit of an embarrassment.
It's crazy,
if you're Universal, yeah.
That screenshot's all over the internet, and you know it's in our show notes, and it's also in the video that I have linked to this. But it definitely says that. Lowe's threw that out there. They're like, oops, sorry.
I didn't mean that.
Or maybe they weren't sorry. Maybe it was intentional. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I understand the idea of using that as the backdrop, but I mean, it looks nothing like a castle.
Yeah, no, it does. I guess it's in idea versus actuality.
In concept,
yes. Concept, yeah.
We want it to be the backdrop of our fireworks shows and that kind of thing.
Exactly. And so that's a very key statement because it supports those rumors that are going around regarding this hotel as it relates to Celestial Park, if not all of Epic Universe, that it, you know, first of all, it's supposed to be actively telling a story inside a hotel and out about a present day alternative universe, like I mentioned. The descriptions and videos suggest that the hotel itself may be a portal into an alternate dimension as well, like the entrance of the hotel is a portal, much like the other portals to Nintendo and, you know, into Kronos, all that kind of stuff. Looking at the concept art, one can see the immense size of the hotel as if it was meant to be viewed not only from anywhere in Celestial Park, but maybe anywhere in Epic Universe too. It pretty much towers over everything. And to your point, you brought up the god Helios. That size is supported by that name because, Greek religion and mythology, Helios is the god who personifies the sun. And in our galaxy, the sun can be viewed anywhere, any planet, any part of the earth, all places. So if then that's the case, then it supports the rumor that this will serve as a main focal point for a nighttime fireworks show.
Well, even the concept art supports that because you see fireworks going off over
Exactly, yeah. So you have that. You have the concept art that supports that fact. You also have the rumors in the fan universe and the statement on the Lowe's webpage that said that the client sought to create a Disney castle which was inhabitable, which supports fireworks.
Makes you wonder if they're going to do projection mapping on there.
Exactly, yeah. And the fireworks rumor is also supported. I'll talk about projection mapping in a second, but the fireworks rumor is also supported by the fact that aerial photography shows that there is a peninsula located behind the hotel that seems to be a perfect spot from which to launch fireworks.
Oh, wow.
Peninsula, of course, surrounded by water, so any fallout from explosions and stuff, no problem. It's floods of water.
Yeah,
so it just seems too convenient having those three things in there that they're not going to use this as a backdrop.
This is going to be the mother of all nighttime spectaculars, where you have the fountains right in front of the backdrop. If you have projection mapping, fireworks going on over there, water features, color, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and to your point, projection mapping, that's a big rumor that's going around. The immense size, I gotta believe it will serve as an incredible canvas to display this technology. And Universal has been doing this already on Hogwarts Castle in Islands of Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
So they have some experience with it for
right.
sure. So now they could just expand it and make it bigger. So we have fireworks, we have projection mapping, and to your point, Danny, we also have the dancing fountains. And as I remember, there'll be dancing fountains all throughout Celestial Park. Let's take a count. We have the Oculus right in front of the Helios Grand. You got the dancing fountains in Neptune Pool. You have Luna Landing. All of them have programmable water features. And who knows, maybe Astronomica, the little splash pad, may be part of the show as well. So this all leads me to support the idea that the Helios Grand Hotel will serve as a center point and landmark of Epic Universe, much like Cinderella's Castle does for the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Like I said, it's supported by the name Helios, which I explained earlier, the size and its viewability, to use that term.
The whole idea of the sun, the whole idea of this universe rotates around this sun.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that.
Serves as kind of like a weenie for guests to venture into that big thing through Celestial Park in a way. So also in Universal's January 30th video, they said that Helios, and I quote, would be implemented into the park like no other theme park in the world. Plus, they also said that the opening of Epic Universe would enable guests to stay at Universal for an entire week. So if they're staying an entire week, then you got to entertain them like day and night. You can't just shut it down. You got to have something for them. Plus, they also said in that video that Helios will be the center focus of the park that all guests can enjoy, not just hotel guests.
Question, do they have themed rooms?
Well, that's the rumor, that they'll have themed rooms.
Okay.
It's supposed to go online because the storyline of the hotel is supposed to combine all of the stories of the different worlds that you encounter in Epic Universe. Now, how they do it in that alternate dimension, I have no idea. It could be exactly the same way that they're doing for Celestial Park, where it just kind of just happens. But that's what I'm hoping by the time we record that hotel show and we talk about that hotel and the other two hotels, that they'll have more information about what's actually inside.
Just thinking, what would well, you know what? I may be jumping ahead of myself here, but if you had a Super Mario bar, say, in the hotel, where drinks come out of the sewer pipe, kind of like that,
dude,
that would be amazing. Like what kind? How do you take your stories back to the hotel? How's this hotel incorporate the stories that you experience in the parks back in the hotel?
Yeah, mushroom coasters.
Yeah,
flattened. They're already flattened.
Yeah,
you said,
or like a Dr. Frankenstein laboratory type bar, or what? I don't know. Like
you could. I don't know. You go and you get talked to the guest relations, and they'll dress like Harry Potter characters.
Oh, that's a great yeah. Because they never really have done like a really nice Harry Potter bar.
I don't think so. Yeah,
no,
they have them. They have them in the movies.
But exactly. Yeah. But like when you go to the lands, it's always like this little area that you can go to and get your drink over at the Leaky Cauldron or whatever. Yeah. But there's not more beyond that.
No. Maybe the How to Train Your Dragon bar will have like smoked drinks.
There's a dragon that sticks out.
I love it.
Oh man,
Love it.
You put your drink up and the dragon goes. You're like, all right, ready.
there you go, smoky old fashioned. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll never forget asking for a butterbeer with alcohol in it, and you're like, sir, we can't do that. But if you want to go outside and you want to combine this with that, it might taste pretty good.
Yeah, I remember that.
Come here, little boy.
That was kind of pedophile-ish sounding, wasn't it? Like, I got some candy here.
There you go.
Step out to the back.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, well, guys, that's it for that area. Celestial Park serves as the hub for the rest of the worlds of Epic Universe, and we will definitely explore those worlds in subsequent shows. So stay subscribed and hit that notification button so you can hear those in the coming weeks. But let us know what you think about Celestial Park World of Epic Universe, and we'll tell you how to get in touch with us to share those opinions in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about Celestial Park over there at Universal Epic Universe. Look, if you want to learn more about us, the Magic Our Way podcast, go to magicourway.com. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about today, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-669-4226. 669-4226. And of course, we have a couple people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Eli, tell them what you got, sir.
Yes, sir. As usual, I appreciate all the love I've been getting when you go to that part of the internet, as they say, www.ivorycomics.com. You can see everything I got. Project Geisha, Savages, and Molly Be Damn. Fully colored pages. The only ad for them is for this podcast. That's more for your buck than you get from the big two. Y'all know what I'm talking about. As well on that website, you can get blogs and interviews and a link to the Magic Our Way podcast, so you never miss a beat, you never miss an episode, you never miss what Universal is doing, because that's a lot of bars to talk about.
Oh, I love it.
Looking forward to that. So please, as always, I appreciate the support. www.ivorycomics.com. On social media, I'm hanging around there. Facebook.com. Eli H. Ivory. You can find me there as long as you're a real person. Always a pleasure to meet you. If you're a bot, do not need to greet you. I don't know what's going on. These bots are cloning people, cloning loved ones, coming back as comic book characters and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, look, man, I ain't got no money for you, man. It's like Flavor Flav said, I ain't got nothing for you, man. Get on out of here, bot. You know what I'm talking about now. Boy. Get out here. Now, so yes, Facebook.com, Eli H. Ivory, right there. Also on Facebook is a Project Geisha fan page. So Facebook.com/Project Geisha. Instagram, post up the hearts and the likes right there. EIV504 is where you get that love. And of course on X.
X gonna give it to you.
What? You can find me right there at Hancock 10166. So, yeah, if you appreciate the madness, you just bringing me the gladness and bring me them drinks, Epic. That's celestial.
Visceral drinks.
Very visceral.
And look, if you want to book a vacation to Universal Orlando Studios Resort, maybe next year for Epic Universe, you can book those hotels now, except for Helios. You could do the other two. Or maybe a Disney trip. We are a Disney podcast. You could book a trip there as well, or a cruise of any sort. You could do it through Rachel. Take it away, Rachel.
I would be honored to help your family book your vacation to Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you. The cost of a travel agent is built into the cost of your vacation, whether you use one or not. And when you book with me, a little bit of your trip comes back to support the podcast and the fan community here at Magic Our Way. You can reach me at Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com, or you can find me at R, the letter R, Family Magic, so Our Family Magic, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give me a call or a text. My phone number is 978-432-WISH. Reach out today and let's make some magic with your family vacation.
So if y'all want to access all the info we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. Also, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way. There you'll find 6 awesome tiers to support this show. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. The easiest way to support us, and it only costs a minute or so of your time, is to leave a rating and review in Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
And you are. Bye!